Ja, dann beginne ich einfach mal mit die Gina ist im Warteraum noch eintreten lassen. Okay, I can do that. Just a second. Hallo Gina. Okay, dann ganz herzliches Willkommen. Ich freue mich, dass ich heute wieder die Begrüßungsworte habe. Wir haben euch ja schon eine kurze Outlook gegeben, was uns heute Abend erwartet und auch nochmal ein Review, was letzte Woche besprochen wurde. Der Raghav war ja so großzügig und hat die Story, die er letzte Woche erzählt hat mit dem Mönch und der Nonne, die mich persönlich total inspiriert hat. Ich weiß nicht, wie es euch ging, vielleicht habt ihr sie auch schon gekannt. Dann auch in YouTube zur Verfügung gestellt und eben auch die Recorded Session von letzter Woche. Wenn ihr da mal was nicht bekommt, also seid da wirklich ganz frei und schickt uns entweder eine E-Mail dem Raghav oder auch mir in der Vamos Yoga E-Mail-Adresse, dann geben wir euch da selbstverständlich jederzeit den Zugriff drauf. Und auch wenn ihr jemanden kennt, der gerne die nächsten Teachings mitmachen würde und die ersten 2 verpasst hat, über die Recorded Sessions gibt es die Möglichkeiten, einfach da gut anzuknüpfen. So, wir haben nur 60 Minuten Zeit, deshalb gebe ich direkt weiter an den Raghav. So, heartily welcome to everyone this evening. I'm here tonight with my mama. She's over there. And we are going to mute everyone. So currently I'm the host. I give the host to Raghav that he can share his screen, and we will mute you during the sessions. If you have a question, don't just write into the chat. We will answer that. And so now enjoy, and yeah, wish you a good evening. Thanks to Raghav for this teaching today. Thanks to Marlene and also to Tina and everyone who contributed to make this happen tonight.
Namaste, and thanks Martina, thanks Marlene. I welcome all of you in this session, and now we lead the class with our first meditation. I would like to invite all of you to have 5 minutes just for the meditation. Please rub your hands together and put on your eyes. Okay, Martina, I will check in between. If there is someone, I will bring them inside the room. Give 5 minutes for yourself. Namaste to everyone. I welcome all of you in this second session of Vedanta Darshan. As I already discussed in previous session, Vedanta, where Veda get ends. Veda means our knowledge, where our knowledge get melt in the realization, where our all worldly experience get converts in self-attainment of peace, unbreakable silence. That's the Vedanta. We start our journey of this second session with this beautiful story. Today's story is about a very popular saint of South India, Maharshi Ramana. Let's celebrate or listen this story carefully. Then we will talk about him and our session. I bring all of you to this story.
Do we know what is the right age for enlightenment and self realization? If a right and favorable environment is found at the right stage of life, then a young age is more suitable for the attainment of knowledge and realization of truth. As we get older, we all roam around on our heads, carrying the burden of our false experiences. We forget to read ourselves by getting entangled in reading many books. Gradually, we lose our ability to hear. If self realization does not happen at the right stage of life, then we all have to face many kinds of problems. Our disturbance start increasing. There comes a time that the person who does the right thing for us, we start thinking of him as our enemy. Remember that as long as we have the ability and humility to listen and accept good and true things, till then we also have the possibility of gaining self-realization and self-knowledge. The great philosophers or thinkers who have often been in India had entered in the path of truth from a very early age. They found an atmosphere where they could easily enter on their journey to infinity. If we did not have such an atmosphere due to any reason, then at least we all should try to provide that environment to our next generation. This will be the success of our life. Today's story is about Maharshi Ramana, the famous saint of South India. He must have been 17 years old when someone in his family died. This death happened right in front of Raman. Raman saw this member of his family moving away from life in front of him. Raman constantly was looking at his family member who was alive just moments before and died just moments later. This incident started going on like a curiosity in Raman's mind. During the time when this person was dying, neither came nor did anyone go. Then how and why did all this happen spontaneously? How was the person who was alive just now declared dead? What happened in this moment? Who left? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Raman realized one thing in himself. Children often think of something new. We should never stop their curiosity. He thought in his mind, let's practice death. After all, how does this death happen? The people of house were crying, but some different questions started running in Raman's mind. He moved to a nearby empty room in the house and lay on the floor. He went and lay down, just as his family's dead man was lying on the ground. He loosened his hands and feet like a dead man, closed his eyes and started practicing to feel the event of death. He said to himself, let's see what happens inside me. If I die, then see if someone or something comes inside the body or not. Whether something remains inside the body or not. He left his body relaxed. Due to his simple gesture, he started to get into the depths of the body. Soon he started to realize that death was happening. Hands and feet started to numb slowly. For a while, the brain remained active and thoughts rotated. But then slowly the thoughts also started to relax. And there came a stage that thoughts also ended. The sounds of outside crying were heard for a while, but slowly all those voices also went away, and he felt as if the ears also started closing. After a while, he slowly stopped feeling his breath, as if the incident of death had begun. Raman remained in this state until another member of the family came and shook him after a couple of hours. When Raman awakened and regained consciousness after this state of experiment, he had transformed himself completely. He looked inside himself like a miracle that what exists within all of us is not really a death. That inner nature of absolute is always awake. Raman came out of the room and looked at the crying people, laughing and smiling, and started saying that you are all crying in vain. No one has gone anywhere. No one goes anywhere. On the same day, he left his house and set out towards the forest. Because in his life there was no meaning left of this visible world outside. Raman had found all the meanings within himself. The people around him started calling him insane, and he left the house laughing and smiling. Raman had got that wealth which we all search for in our lives. Raman could no longer hear the words ridicule and rebuke of the people of the world. He had subsumed in the exclusive Brahma residing within him. We strive throughout our life to attain the same Brahma, but neither can we take the necessary bold or courageous steps to experience that one, nor do we get the right environment to experience that one. Raman's experience of death drowned him in the experience of perpetual meditation. People tell, wherever and whenever Raman used to sit, sometimes Raman sat in exactly the same posture and position for many hours, many days. He could make his body dead like a corpse and leave his breath outside, and he did not worry about eating or drinking, just sitting. When someone came to Raman during the awakened state and asked, what should we practice for self upliftment and self realization? Which path to follow? So he starts saying, what to do? Nothing. Just learn the art of sitting and staying in one place. That is meditation. All meditation events will start from there. No need to do anything else. This is true somehow. We have forgotten the art of getting stopped and staying in one place. Because of this constant state of our wandering, we are all away from the deep experience of meditation in which many great saints like Maharshi Raman had been absorbed and were engrossed all their lives. Vedanta Darshan is the ladder to reach this height of meditation and to experience it. Namaste.
This is all. about Vedanta. We all get worried somewhere about something. And Vedanta is there to make you free from all kinds of fear. Raman practiced death. What is the largest fear in this world? My papa always have been telling one thing. Bhaya binu preet na hoya gusai. If you need to sell something, if you need to bring someone under your command, if you need to establish your kingdom, then you need to generate fear in others for you. This is what somehow we do, somehow the doctors do, somehow the lawyers do, somehow the law do, somehow the nations do, somehow the politics do. They just generate fear. And because of lack of self-identity, we allow them to rule on us. Vedanta serve us that wisdom, that liberty, which make us free from these kinds of sufferings and prison. We all need it. In today's chapter, today's session, I have a very good subject. When I was writing the script of the second session, before my plan to Vedanta course for all of you, during the writing the script, one thought appeared. And this thought was where I have to bring the people's consciousness. Do I have to share just some lesson to raise some fund for some project? Or I really needs to deliver them something which I realized in my own life? Right in that moment, I designed the course that is not exactly which I read in books. That is exactly which I realized in my life with the grace of my father and my guru. So whatever content I am sharing with all of you, maybe you will not get in books, but you will get these contents inside yourselves. You will find these contents inside you. Before going to the session forward, I would love to invite if someone have any kind of question related with Raman and the story that I shared. I would love if Martina can translate my question. If someone have any question, then just can feel free to ask about the story that we shared.
Genau, Raghav sagt gerade, ich glaube, ihr versteht es auch alle ganz gut so. Wenn wir Fragen haben zu der Geschichte, die er gerade geteilt hat, also auch wirklich zu Hintergründen oder einfach so Dinge, wo ihr interessiert dran seid, dann stellt die einfach, entmutet euch selbst oder schreibt sie in den Chat und dann wird Raghav sie selbstverständlich gerne beantworten.
It's beautiful.
But
when we have,
I really have one question, so maybe
yes,
I start because so what Raman tries to experience is what is dead or death. Death, exactly. And so what is the stage between meditation and death? You know what I mean? What is the difference? What is the delta? Which function is still there or not? So you know what I mean?
Yes, I'm getting you. Getting you. In actual, if I will say from my intellectual brain, then Raman achieved the deep sleep in that stage. When everyone was suffering in pain and restless, Raman found some moment for the rest. And this rest was the deepened rest. In the stage of rest, as deep as the rest will be, as deep as the awareness will come back. We says in life, if there is a hard emotional hit, as much as hard reflection we will get from the word, as deep as we will be allowed to enter in our consciousness. The experiences teach. The stage of meditation is totally different than the experience of the Raman. Raman found that stage of consciousness because of previous life karmas and the environment what he received. He get reflected by the society because of pain, and then achieved that state of rest which was existing with him for always. We are all looking for such kind of rest in our life. So in actual, Raman found the rest during the life which we all need. For the very superficial brain, but for the deep study, when we will enter, it will take a long time to make arguments and to put the question and answers. So in the upcoming session, I would love to discuss with you, or maybe sometime. But here we need to get in the situation when everyone was in pain. Raman get reflected by this pain, and he could not tolerate this crying situation. And as a child, he just needed to find how the death is happening with his childish behavior. And he entered in the deep meditation or deep sleep that made him empty. And he could touch incidentally, accidentally, that height of wisdom for which we all look. Is it clear, Martina?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So we lead today's session now with interesting points. Till now, we learned, it's a quick review for all of us. What is Vedanta Darshan? Where all knowledge or ego generated through any kind of superficial knowledge get ends. This is Vedanta Darshan, as I already discussed, where knowledge get ends. Where all knowledge get melt in one single identity or common identity of as Brahma or God or Allah. That we are the God in ourselves. And external dimension of life is also our own dimension. Vedanta is a thread or link to connect with Brahma or God. We studied different Vedas, their subjects and Vedas, and Sardarshan, different kinds of philosophies that we shared in last chapter. Now we are here. Stages of meditation as per Vedanta Darshan. It is very interesting. I wrote here Shravan and Swadhyay. What is happening in this moment when all of you are listening? This is the first step of meditation. Listening. If we listen peaceful voice, if we listen some beautiful story, if we listen something that inspire us, same thing with the study. If we study something that allow us to meditate. So the first stage of meditation is listening or self-study. Remember, here the position does not matter. In what position are you lying down? Are you sitting? Are you jogging? Are you going somewhere? No matter in which position or posture you are. In Vedanta Darshan, the only thing matters, what are you listening? What are you reading? The reading and listening about scriptures or knowledge divert you to the meditation with the first step. The second step of meditation comes with the manana. Thoughts on education which we received either through listening or self-study. I am speaking with you something during this course. Then naturally you will begin to think about it. A thought processing will start there inside you. If you will read something that will be very inspiring, naturally after that study, the books, the thoughts of the books or whatever you study will begin to ring in your brain, will begin to follow you. That's the manan. The thoughts that follow the education which you listened or which you received either through listening or self-study. That's the second stage of meditation. The third stage, we say the nididhyasan. When you will constantly think about that subject, you will begin to grasp the essence. You will begin to find the essence that is imbibed or attained after the deep consideration of the education heard or read. Nididhyasana, like a education's extract of any kind of lesson, which will be with you, like we says in a discipline, hey, do not put your shoes there. The one time you will think, the first a teaching by a guru, do not put your shoes there. Manan will be there, why I should not put there. The nididhyasan will be like this, yes, I should not put there because it's the doorway and many people will come from here. So this is the example, nididhyasan, that you will understand and grasp the intention of it. Then atmanubhuti, you will also realize it and begin to grasp it, that it will be in your discipline, naturally you will begin to follow that path that will be grasped by you. Your habit, your nature will begin to be in that constantly. So the nididhyasan is continuous attention to the essence that is imbibed or attained after deep consideration of the education heard or read. Atmanubhuti, grasping or feeling or self-realization of truth. You will begin to realize the need of that truth in your life. What will be the last result of the meditation is uninterrupted silence. Once the Sravan, Swadhyay, the Manan, the Nididhyasan, the Atmanubhuti, self-realization, and then the uninterrupted silence means no one can disturb your eternal peace that will be imbibed inside you. Until our peace is getting disturbed, we are in some kind of blockages or obstructions. So the next stage, the next slide, I'm going to share with you what are the 4 obstructions in the path of meditation or the self-realization. These are the stages. Now the obstructions. These are the 4 obstructions in this path. You can check it from here. The pramad, nidra we say in Hindi. In English, you can read here laziness and sleep. If you are lazy, if you are in love with sleep, or if you are tired, then of course you cannot meditate. First, meditation will be for you the sleep. So sleep also become the first obstruction in the path of self-realization. Laziness. The first blockage. The second, deflection and deviation, where the mind wanders. You are sitting, you are reading a book, you are thinking about book, but another thought begin to appear in you. Oh, you have to go to buy the shoes. Immediate your meditation will begin to convert from the path to attain the realization of truth. You will be diverted for the outer world, for your different desires. So where the mind wanders, the first obstruction is laziness and sleep. The second obstruction, where the mind wanders, deflection and deviation, where your mind is unstable, moving here and there. Then the third level, it is very deep, kashaya, the seed of lust. This seed of lust is just not for the physical desire. This is very deep. The seed of lust, one which lives in great depth, wanting his or her dominancy existence over the world. Oh, I need to be the topmost. So the person begin to show to the world that he is a meditator. He is doing a meditation, but for what? He or she does meditation for making her or his dominancy over the world. So the meditation begin to get blocked in middle. We cannot achieve that silence for what we start to practice the meditation. The last is rasaswadan, where the person enjoys a state of meditation in itself and is unable to move forward. This is very interesting. A person who starts meditation, he loves to just sit, to be in nature. Don't need to explore more forward the path. If I will say here, to be honest, that Raman get stopped here. If we study deeply the story of Maharshi Ramana, then Raman's height of meditation get stopped here. He started to enjoy the state of meditation itself and is unable to move forward. He stopped in that place. But that is also a height somehow. For this people, for this people, for this people, this is much better height. So we should not also stop for the self-realization in certain steps. Next slide, we move. Who is Brahma as per Ramcharitmanas? I will discuss about it. To talk with all of you a little. Is it clear these four blockages that happens with all of us? These are very practical blockages. And these are the stages of meditation. In next slide, I'm going to bring you to the Ramcharitmanas. And moving you from that realization of God, that is from the point of view of bhakti, from the devotion. There are two kinds of people in this world. The one believer, another is atheist. The believer who believe in the God speak about God with saying its glory. In the Ramayana, Ramcharitmanas, the author, the writer, the poet said the glory of the Brahma, of the God. Who is that God? He found his God with the regular devotion towards the Rama. Rama was a legendary person, but he represented Rama as a Brahma, as a God. And who is God? He is chanting in certain poems. There are 4 poems. I'm chanting with you, which says the Chopai, and I will show you what is the meaning of it. Who is Brahma? Ehi vidhi jage hari. You can read from here. Ehi vidhi jage hari astrit rahai. Jadapi asatya det dukh ahai. ज्यों सपने सिर काटे कोई बिनु जागे ना दूर दुख होई. The world depends on Brahma or God. This world is an illusion, but we accept it as the truth. So we suffer the sufferings of this world. As long as this world seems to be true, we also feel sorrow of the world. How? Here is the example. Just as if someone in dream cut out our throat or kill us. The trouble is only until we wake up from sleep. In the same way, the problems of the world are there till we have not realized our true nature. You can get here the story of Raman. People were crying because they could not realize the truth. Raman realized the truth and he come out from the pain and suffering. Same thing with us. We did not realize that this world is going to last for few days. After a while, we all have to return back to that journey that is continue. So the constant, omnipresent, and the absolute nature is the Brahma, the God, that is in all of us. Now, who is the God? आदि अंत कोई जासु न पावा मति अनुमान वेद अस गावा. Brahma or God is that which has no beginning and no end. If you are going to find out when the God born, when the God will die, then you are wrong. The God is that which has no beginning and no end. Yet the Vedas, ancient mystics have sung this way by guessing from their intelligence. Like Vedas tried to explain about it. Vedanta tried to explain about the God, but he cannot be explained in reality. Chalai sunai binu kana, kar binu karam karai vidhi nana, आनंद रहित सकल रस भोगी बिनु वाणी बक्ता बड़ जोगी. He walks without feet, the God, listens without ears, does many types of works without hands. When we call When we are in deep pain, we feel that someone is listening us. It's our own feeling. It's our own reflection. But that's the reflection of the God that resides inside all of us. Enjoys all juices without mouth and is a very capable speaker without speech. He touches without body, sees without eyes, and accepts all fragrances without nose. He, Brahma, is very amazing and supernatural, whose glory cannot be said. So here, the Tulsidas also get stopped. The unexplainable experience of the Brahma, whose glory cannot be said, means the feeling of the deep test of meditation cannot be mentioned in words. That's the height of Vedanta. Now here, this is the important chapter before ending today's session. There are two types of people in the world. In 5 minutes, just we are going to end our session. Difference and similarity between believer and atheist as per dual and visual world. The believer and the atheist, who believes in the existence of God. Atheist, who does not believe in the existence of God. For the believer, he lives his life constantly remembering and praying God, discharging all her duties and deeds. The world is only for the fulfillment of self-physical material desires for atheist. The atheist person is only live for the fulfillment of self-physical material desires, enjoyment and consumption, assuming it does all its deeds. Believer try to avoid arguments with being away from atheists, with feeling maximum time insecure about life and their needs. This is it's a bit negative, but you have to understand the person who believe in God, somewhere they are insecure much more than the atheist. Because they are depend on something that they believe that they did not realize. Until the believer's faith or the trust is not converting in realization, they live in a kind of insecurity. Where atheists live life with full of arguments, they are always ready to argue, feeling less insecure about life and its needs because they work 24 hours for it. And believer pray 24 hours for it. This is the difference between believer and atheist. Believer less believe in self, more believe in God. Atheist more believe in self. As per the spirituality, which path is much suitable for believer? The path of bhakti, the path of devotion. And for the atheist, the path to achieve peace for them is Jnana Yoga. What are the similarity in both? Find out. These are in both. Desires, ambitions, ego, insecurity, fear, diseases, love, and respect for the life. They both have all these. Now, what are the different states of consciousness free from superficial dual visions of the world? The witness that we achieve with Vedanta, self-realized state of consciousness, which we somehow say enlightened, non-judgmental, and the yoga. These are the heights that we achieve with the Vedanta Darshan. This is all for today. In next session, we will discuss on following subjects: popular Vedanta philosophies and their comparative study, Vedanta philosophy or the Brahma Sutra, the main principles given by the says Vedavyasa, on the basis of which we can realize God within ourselves. Short explanation about different principles formulated in the Vedanta philosophy. I would love to invite all of your questions. If someone have something, someone moving on in someone's brain, please feel free. I know it is already too much. It will take time for you to repeat it again and again. So I will update the session in YouTube. You can repeat it, you can follow it and re-study it.
May I ask one question, Raghav?
Yeah, please.
If I am a believer or a atheist, do I decide that on my own, or is it in your philosophy? Is it given, or is it a tradition, or does it come from family?
It doesn't comes from family. You can decide in yourselves. Like an atheist and the believer, the both decision has to come from the person. Okay. No one can judge. Like we are not here to judge that you are the atheist or you are the believer. We are here only as the teacher, as the guide, as the guru. The guru is there to tell you which path can be suitable for you. Guru accept for both, also for the atheist, also for the believer.
Yes, that's why a very nice idea to just to focus on the different paths that might fit and not on the where someone stands or starts. That's nice.
Definitely.
Thanks.
That's why I told in last that the path to get the peace for believer is the bhakti yoga. And the path to achieve the peace for the atheist is the jnana yoga. Arguments helps to achieve that self-realization too. But with whom we have to make these arguments? Either we are going to make the arguments with the only the believer who is just entered in the path, so he feel insecure, or we are putting our question in the right person, among the right person, where it can be solved. That's why the Vedanta philosophy here. You can put your all question here. Among the believer, among the bhakti path followers, like there are thousands of people, maximum part of the society is in the believer point. If I will calculate, there are 60 versus 40. 60% is the believer and 40% in between 40%, 35% is the atheist and 5% is the aware. So we accept both.
That's nice.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
In Europe, we're having more and more Christians who don't believe in God anymore, so the number of atheists is growing. What about the Hindu people?
It's the same nowadays, because since we begin to get attracted towards the material progress, the belief system on the like a imaginary God is very less. The belief system on the self-identity, like the path of meditation and yoga, is much more higher. So we are changing. We are in the same level, either in a Western society or in the Eastern society. But in certain countries, like we see in the Islam, that's in different dimension. But it depends on also the area to area. So in India, we are in the same level like in Western countries. The people are less in belief. They need much more clarification. They need much more practical or scientific approach to understand the theory of God. So Vedanta Darshan is very, very nice tool to advocate it, to tell about it with being honest.
Thank you.
Anyone else? So we reach to the is tradition and religion needed to understand the Vedanta. It depends. It depends. Christian, a very nice question. If like people come with the prejudiced mentality, like someone is just fixed that God is only Allah, or someone is just fixed with their brain, God is only Jesus, then it's hard for them to understand the Vedanta. But if someone is come, the knowledge is knowledge. Either it comes through Allah, or it comes through Jesus, or it comes through Vedanta, or it comes through Rama. So the religion and the spirituality. What is your question here again? They needed to understand. They needs to understand it. They do need to do it. But it depends if they accept or not accept. If they will understand it, of course they are going to accept it, because there is no reason to avoid it. It's just like a water. We all need to drink water. That's it. Simple. Same with the knowledge. We all need it. That's it. Any question more? So we read to this. Yeah, Wilhelm. Okay, perfect. So I bring you to this again. This Nirvana Satikam is very important. For me, is just something that I feel to read it again and again. I feel to listen it again and again. Before sharing this mantra, I would love to invite Gina to tell about the Bharat Bhavan and the links that is available. All of you can share the link of Bharat Bhavan project. The work is already going on. So,
should I say something different than last time, or just explain how
just, Gina, you just need to explain about the link where they will find, like if people can share the link, they also can feel free to share this link of GoFundMe. So
okay. Ja, in German.
Ja.
Okay, also wir haben immer noch den GoFundMe-Link, den der Jan und ich zusammen erstellt haben. Wir haben jetzt schon fast 500 € zusammen. Und ich versuche das gleich wieder hier in den Chat nochmal reinzufügen, dass ihr das vielleicht nochmal bitte alle teilen könnt mit euren Freunden, mit eurer Familie. Denn es wird natürlich immer noch viel Unterstützung gebraucht für das Projekt, und jeder noch so kleine Betrag, der von Herzen kommt, ist eine große Hilfe. Okay, Dankeschön.
And last, we just invite you for this beautiful lyrics and the stanzas and the slokas. You just can listen, and I will pass in between this the host to the Marlin, and we will end this session. My namaste to all of you. Just listen these beautiful mantras and read it.
चेत्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोश न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदोर्नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धो न मित्रं गुरो नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पः सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च सङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेया चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहं